Hi everyone, this is Eagle News. I'm Rose Papa Angeles in Washington. It's Saturday, November 19, 2022, here in the nation's capital. The week's recap begins with planet's human inhabitants. On November 15, the world has reached a milestone. Our population crossed the 8 billion mark, something that UN Chief Antonio Guterres says warrants celebration of diversity and advancement. Joanne Soriano reports.
The United Nations calls November 15 the Day of 8 billion, the day when the world's population reaches this figure for the first time ever. UN Chief Antonio Guterres says, "This is a milestone in human development, a day to celebrate diversity and advancements." The unprecedented growth in human population is attributed to two trends. 1. The longer lifespan of people due to improvements in public health, nutrition, personal hygiene, and medicine. And second, the persistence of high levels of fertility in many countries. The UN, however, underscores everyone's shared responsibility for the planet. The organization has set Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Among these are clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, and responsible consumption and production. The UN says SDGs are the world's best pathway toward a happy and healthy future. The organization says to limit global temperature rise while achieving the SDGs depends on curbing unsustainable patterns of production and consumption. It will take approximately 15 years to reach the next milestone in the world's population. In 2037, a projected 9 billion people will be living on the planet. Joanne Soriano, New York, New York, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
More than 3 million middle and high school students reported tobacco use this year. This is something that the nation's top health agency says threatens the youth. Julian Bukayan reports.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released a study that finds 3 million middle school and high school students in the U.S. with reported tobacco use in 2022. This study finds that 2.5 million are in high school and 530,000 are in middle school. Non-Hispanic Black students reported the highest percentage of combustible tobacco product use, including cigar use. The CDC says that commercial tobacco product use continues to threaten the nation's youth, and disparities in youth tobacco product use persist. The health agency underscores that by addressing the factors leading to youth tobacco use and helping young people quit, they may be given the best opportunity to live their healthiest lives. Julian Bukayan, San Diego, California, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Canines suffering from pancreatitis may now be given an injectable drug to manage acute onset of the disease while they are being treated in the hospital. Timon Lee reports.
The first drug to manage acute onset of pancreatitis in dogs has been conditionally approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Premature CA1 is an injectable drug intended for use while the dog is hospitalized for treatment of the disease. The FDA says pancreatitis is a painful inflammatory disease of the pancreas that can be life-threatening and generally requires that dogs be hospitalized for treatment. Often it occurs spontaneously. Common factors that increase the chance of developing pancreatitis include when dogs eat something outside of their normal diet, particularly fatty foods, treatment with certain medications, and disease like diabetes mellitus. It is more common in certain breeds of dogs, and in some dogs may become a recurring or chronic condition. The FDA says the conditional approval pathway allows medications like Pancreatitis CA1 to reach the marketplace more quickly. It gives dogs suffering from acute onset of pancreatitis earlier access to a drug to manage this disease. Timon Lee, San Francisco, California, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Several stories from Thomas At Likeness today, from non-stop rains turning plains into an inland sea, to marine volunteers hauling a ton of waste from the Aegean Sea, to a Malaysian politician called the Road Warrior. These and more on the week's Correspondent at Large.
And now news and commentary from around the globe. I'm always amazed by the power of water. Not only the riptides or the huge waves you might see in the ocean, but look at this. This is inland Australia. What you see here is a wall of water gushing from a dam in New South Wales. This after the region was hit by incessant rain. Buildings were ripped from their foundations as this deluge swamped a small town. Stranded residents huddled helplessly on the rooftops as the water roared by. Some described it like a tsunami. The power of water. Off the coast of the Greek island of Naxos, marine conservationists are picking up litter from the bottom of the Aegean Sea. They've been at it for 5 years now. It's an annual event. About a dozen volunteers clean up the ocean floor near the coast. In 2 days, just 2 days, they hauled about a ton of marine waste out of the sea. Theodore Francis of the group Aegean Rebreath says it's unbelievable what divers are bringing up.
We found a lot of single-use plastics, aluminium, and glass, like glass bottles, aluminium cans, a lot of stuff you find in your kitchen.
Summer tourists are the main culprits. Seems if you don't live in a place, it must be okay to litter there. French medical students not happy over a government plan to assign them to so-called healthcare deserts. Now, healthcare deserts are areas where there's a lack of medical staff. So to accomplish its goal of providing healthcare to these regions, the government will send students there for an additional year of studies as they complete their internships. The future doctors don't like this prescription. They say in poorly served areas, there's no one to mentor them or teach them. They say this plan will make the profession less attractive and does not offer a sustainable solution. Here's an election candidate that could get votes in just about any place that has poorly maintained roads. Meet Aslan Sani Zawawi. He's a politician with a difference. He's a road warrior tired of trying to get the streets in his Malaysian community and elsewhere in the country fixed. Zawawi's organized a nationwide crew of about 250 volunteers to do unofficial road repairs. That's because the government is dragging its feet filling in things like potholes, fixing cracks in the road. And he's not above getting his hands dirty and fixing the roads himself. Zawawi has also decided to run in the local election since he's had little success fighting outside the system.
I can't do much. I mean, I can fill in a lot of potholes, which will take ages. But this is the chance. This is the chance where I can come in and compete for the parliament seat, and hopefully, inshallah, if I am elected, I'll be in the system, I'll be in the parliament.
And while you might consider potholes a minor issue in the scheme of things, damaged roads in Malaysia are often left unrepaired for months, and they're a hazard for motorists and cyclists alike. Zawawi is the underdog in a five-way race. But if he was running an election here where I live, given the condition of the roads, he'd get my vote. I'll be back in 7 days. In the meantime, I wish you all peace, joy, and happiness in the ensuing week. Thomas I. Likeness, Correspondent at Large, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
In other news, babies born prematurely and underweight are said to have better chances of surviving with immediate skin-to-skin contact with their mothers. To tell us more, here is Rosel Feria on Health is Wealth.
The World Health Organization launches new guidelines to give premature babies and babies with low birth weight a better chance to survive and be healthy. Preterm babies are those born before 37 weeks of pregnancy, and small babies are those who weigh under 2.5 kilograms or about 5.5 pounds. The guidelines advise skin-to-skin contact with the caregiver. Usually the mother should start immediately after birth without any initial period in an incubator. This is known as Kangaroo mother care. This shows a notable change from previous guidance and common clinical practice. WHO says kangaroo mother care reflects the immense health benefits of ensuring caregivers and their preterm babies can stay close without being separated after birth. Families can face extraordinary stress and hardship because of intensive caregiving demands and anxieties around their baby's health. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says these guidelines show that improving outcomes for these tiny babies is not always about providing the most high-tech solutions. Dr. Tedros says it is about ensuring access to essential health care centered around the needs of families. WHO reports that every year, 15 million babies are born preterm and over 20 million have a low birth weight. Roselle Feria, Washington, D.C., Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Are you one of the millions of people in the U.S. with high cholesterol? If you are, let's find out what you can do about it. Anna Kui reports.
Do you have high cholesterol? If so, what's stopping you from doing something about it? Like perhaps taking statins. Statins are medications often prescribed to help lower cholesterol. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, almost 2 in 5 adults in the U.S. have high cholesterol, which means a total blood cholesterol of more than 200, which over time can cause plaque buildup in your arteries, putting you at risk for heart disease and stroke. As I've mentioned, doctors often prescribe statins like atorvastatin, simvastatin, or rosuvastatin, especially for those who have multiple risk factors for a heart attack or stroke. The Journal of American Medical Association, or JAMA, published an updated evidence report which found the use of statins for primary prevention of cardiovascular disease was associated with reduced mortality and cardiovascular events. But still, many people are hesitant to take them because of the side effects, most commonly muscle pain. Although side effects believed to be caused by statins can be annoying, doctors say consider the benefits of taking it and make sure to talk to your doctor before stopping any of your medications. So if taking statin is not the first choice, some people prefer taking supplements like red yeast rice or fish oil. But how do supplements compare to statins when it comes to lowering your cholesterol, specifically your LDL or your bad cholesterol? A recent study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology showed that rosuvastatin reduced LDL by over 34% compared to placebo in supplements such as fish oil, cinnamon, garlic, turmeric, and red yeast rice. And finally, some doctors may advise people to try a lifestyle change to lower their cholesterol with a heart-healthy diet and exercise. A study published in the National Institute of Health about the effects of certain foods on lowering LDL shows that foods high in unsaturated fat like grapeseed or canola oil and foods high in soluble fiber like oats and barley caused at least moderate reductions. Other foods that showed moderate to large reductions are avocados and turmeric, while almonds, walnuts, whole grain foods, and green tea caused small to moderate reductions. Sugar, on the other hand, caused a small increase in LDL, and for coffee lovers, unfiltered coffee caused a moderate to large increase. Ask any cardiologist and they will tell you a brisk 30-minute walk at least 3 times a week is enough to increase your good cholesterol and help lower your bad ones by a few points. In the end, choose what works for you, whether that's taking statins, supplements, or doing a lifestyle change with diet and exercise. The only bad choice would be doing nothing about it. Anna Kui, Las Vegas, Nevada, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
About 48,000 graduate students, researchers, and other academic staff have walked off the job at 10 University of California campuses to back contract demands. Ivan Sanchez III on this week's Learning Curve.
The workers say they can't afford to live on what the university system is paying them, citing high housing and childcare costs. They want big pay raises, better benefits, and improved working conditions. They began picketing Monday, and the United Auto Workers, which represents the employees, has not indicated how long the walkout will last. It is said to be the largest higher education-related strike in American history. The two sides have been bargaining since the spring of 2021. Many of those on strike are teaching assistants for professors. As a result, some professors have been forced to cancel classes. With final exams just weeks away, students are nervous. About 300,000 students are enrolled in the University of California system. The union has accused the university system of unlawful behavior during negotiations, something it denies. The university system has proposed a third-party mediator to help both sides reach a contract. Ivan Sanchez III, Los Angeles, California, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
The days are getting colder and darker as the winter season approaches. And during this time in the state of Pennsylvania, motorists are reminded about the school bus stopping law. Why? Myla Simbulan has the details.
In Pennsylvania, with increased convictions last year, the Transportation Department, or PennDOT, reminds motorists of the importance of school transportation safety and highlights the potential school transportation challenges posed by changing daylight conditions. The school bus stopping law requires motorists to stop at least 10 feet from the bus when approaching a school bus with its red lights flashing and stop arm extended. Motorists approaching from all directions are required to stop. The only exception to this law is when motorists encounter a school bus stopping on the opposite side of a divided highway when lanes of the highway are clearly separated by a divider, such as a concrete barrier or grassy median. Operation Safe Stop data reveals that participating school districts and law enforcement agencies reported witnessing 155 violations of the law, down from 252 reported last year. The initiative is formed to conduct enforcement, raise public awareness about the consequences of improper passing of school buses, and reduce occurrences. Convictions for breaking the school bus stopping law increased from 314 in 2020 to 348 in 2021. With additional challenges such as darkness coinciding with more of our students' school bus ride times and the distraction of the quickly approaching holiday season, it is important that motorists remain vigilant while sharing the road with school buses and students. Myla Simbulan, Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
November is the Native American Heritage Month, and in celebration, the Corpus Christi Museum of Science and History holds an Indigenous Heritage Day to teach about the indigenous tribes that once populated this area, their history, culture, and even their artwork. Jane Kathleen Gregorio on Color My World.
In commemoration of Native American Heritage Month, the Corpus Christi Museum of Science and History hosted an Indigenous Heritage Day, which gives the general public a chance to connect with the past. This interactive day-long event included films showcasing Native American tribal dances, documentaries on social issues, artifacts, exhibits, family activities, and the opportunity to create your own Native American inspired artwork.
So in Heritage Day that we're doing here at the museum, we're spreading the knowledge of Native American culture and history and art for everybody to come and participate and learn here at their Museum of Science and History. And we have all kinds of things for people to enjoy. We have some artifacts that have never seen the museum floor before. And we also have stations where people can participate in old Native American art traditions like ledger art, where they take old ledger paper and put some colored pencils to it and make some drawings. Or they can do traditional Navajo sand art. They can pour some sand down and create some images and beautiful pictures.
And so today we're doing sand painting. So this is something that I've just been kind of messing around with. And basically what you do is you grab a Q-tip and then you dip it in some glue right here that we have. And then you can basically draw whatever shape you want with the glue. I'm gonna do another square right here, orange. Then you're just gonna kind of spill it like this. It's gonna look a little messy, but you just spit it like that on the square, and then you grab your paper, and you just dump the excess back in here, and then you're left with your square shape, and then that's kind of the process for the sand painting.
Well, records show that there were many Native Americans passing through the area, but the main tribe that actually called this coastal region home, as far as like Corpus Christi through Rockport and Padre Island, were the Karankawa. We have a statue of a Karankawa Native American in a canoe. To my left over here, we have the La Salle. That's when the French first came over and met the Karankawa. In the front of the museum, we have the shipwreck of 1554. That's when the Spaniards were coming out of New Spain, which is now Mexico, and a hurricane blew them off course, and they crashed onto the beaches of Padre Island and met the Karankawa for the first time. So, I am wearing a traditional Native American choker. This was traditionally an armor piece, and it was to protect our vital arteries. And this is a beautiful chest piece I'm wearing. This would have stopped rocks and arrows from penetrating my center chest region. So originally this was armor, but over the centuries they've made the transition. Now they're ceremonial regalia pieces. And I wear these when I talk about my Native American history and the culture of Native Americans.
Jean Kathleen Gregorio, Eagle News, Corpus Christi, Texas. We live in extraordinary times.
In Leesburg, Virginia, a Harry Potter-inspired interactive experience gives fans another way to enjoy the fictional but fantastical world. Jeff Sanidad on adventure awaits.
Lumos Maxima.
25 years after the first Harry Potter book by J.K. Rowling was published, Wizarding World keeps taking various shapes, from books to movies to theme parks and now an interactive experience. Today, we bring you an exclusive first look at Harry Potter: A Forbidden Forest experience held in Leesburg, Virginia. Walk into the depths of a dark forest and discover fantastic beasts and illuminated Wizarding World moments. Explore the After Dark, the sounds, lights, and special effects that bring to life the wonders of the Wizarding World. Celebrating some of the most iconic forest scenes from the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts franchise, visitors can be in character to some famous scenes, bringing the fantastical world to life. Discover fictional characters like centaurs, unicorn, a hippogriff, nifflers, giants, and other interesting fictional creatures before a Patronus appears before your eyes.
Well, we're really lucky with the Forbidden Forest that it features in nearly all of the Harry Potter films. So if you come here as a fan, you're going to get to see some of the best creatures from both sets of films franchises, but some of those really exciting scenes as well from the Harry Potter films. It's an illuminated trail, so people can come and walk at their own pace around a really beautiful forest setting. They're going to experience creatures, the chance to interact with things. It's a real mix of an evening for friends and family to come and enjoy together. I think something of this nature, we want people to feel a range of emotions. There's some laughs out there, things to do together as a family. There are also some moments which are really sweet and lovely. So a real range of emotions. But I think when we designed this, what we wanted was an experience where people could come together, enjoy an evening in a really beautiful natural environment. That was very important to us. Well, If you're a Harry Potter fan, there are a number of things that you would expect to see in the Forbidden Forest, and I think we've got all of those for you. But there are also some unexpected creatures and activities you can enjoy. And of course, we have a beautiful village at Midway here where you can enjoy food.
What sets this exhibit apart from others?
I think what sets this exhibit apart from others is the fact that we are set in this beautiful location in Leesburg, Virginia. So not only do you get the wonderful outdoors in this fabulous forest, but you get the Wizarding World in action, and people can really experience it in a very different way to other experiences that are out there. We opened last year in the UK in Manchester, and we have this experience here in Leesburg, Virginia, and then we have got another one in Westchester in New York, and then one in Belgium as well.
Awesome. The experience was great. I've been a Harry Potter fan since I was 13. Grew up with the books and then watched the movies. So going through the Forbidden Forest in person was amazing. Really, really amazing.
This is an outdoor trail. Wrap up warm, outdoor shoes are strongly advised. This experience will be open for public until January 31st, 2023. Jeff Sanidad, Washington, D.C., Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Now, on to NBA news. On Thursday night in Portland, Oregon, the Trail Blazers hosted the Brooklyn Nets in a nail-biter of a game. For EBC Sports International, here's Michael Hudson's report from the Moda Center in Portland.
Hey sports fans, I'm here in Portland, Oregon, where we're catching an NBA matchup between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Brooklyn Nets. Let's go see some of the action.
One of the hottest teams in the NBA, the Portland Trail Blazers, and one of the lowliest teams, the Brooklyn Nets. The latter were the ones who prevailed tonight, pulling off a 107-105 victory at the Moda Center. The Trailblazers closed out the first half strong, with Dame scoring on a coast-to-coast acrobatic layup as the closing buzzer sounded, making it a 61-57 at the half. In the second half, there was a lot of back and forth, and it came down to the waning seconds of the game where Nets forward Royce O'Neal tipped in a Kevin Durant miss with only 0.07 seconds left. Nets Durant finished with 35 points, and the Trailblazers Dame Lillard finished with 25 points on 8 of 24 shooting.
Michael Hudson, Portland, Oregon, Eagle News. We live in extraordinary times.
Before we let you go, here's our photo of the week by Jay Suarez. This is a view of a cold sunset at White Rock in British Columbia. Definitely looks chilly, but such a beautiful shot. Thank you all for joining us again. If there are stories or topics you want us to share with you, just comment below. View, like, share our other shows: City Limits with Alan Basiyahe, Connected with Dr. David, Take a Seat and Join Us with Anaqui, Play Date with Mike Hudson and Friends, plus Journey, Stories of Filipinos in Canada with Kathleen Cruz. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Eagle News Live. I am Rose Papa Angeles. We'll live in extraordinary times.